Alright, and welcome to Rational Exponents Level 3. Now, in our very first example, still the same, we want to solve for x, and notice I've just made this equation just slightly more difficult by adding technically subtracting a constant at the end. So how do we want to begin something like this? Well, ask yourself, what do I have to get rid of first? Do I get rid of first the 5, the 3/5, or the -3? Well, in this case, we always want to get rid of our addition or subtraction first. So how do you get rid of a -3? What is the opposite of -3? Well, of course, that would be +3. And what we do to the left, of course, we have to do to the right. And so that goes away. We've created a zero pair. We now have 5x to the 3/5 is equal to, and what is 622 plus 3? Well, of course, that would be 625. Now from here, we're essentially back to a level 2 problem. How do you get rid of the 5? How do you get rid of multiplication? Well, the opposite of multiplication would, of course, be division. And so we divide those away, and we now wind up with this. We wind up with x to the 3/5 is equal to, and what is 625 divided by 5? Well, if you were to use your calculator, you would find that it is 125. Now from here, I'm going to have to do a little bit of a rewrite to make this make some more sense. So the first question we ask ourselves is, how do we get rid of the exponent 3/5? Well, if you've been paying attention whatsoever, we know that to get rid of an exponent that is a rational exponent or a fraction, we have to raise it up to its reciprocal, of course. And so 3/5, well, that reciprocal would be 5/3. And those essentially go away, which now means we have 125 to the power of 5/3. Now, of course, we are going to rewrite this and ask yourself, should you make this number larger and then smaller, or smaller and then larger? And we always want to make it smaller first. So I look at the denominator, which is a 3, and so we are going to wind up taking the cube root of 125 and, of course, raising that up to the 5th power. Now, you should actually know this part by heart. What is the cube root of 125? Well, that would be 5. And now we raise up 5 to the 5th power. And so check it out. This is what we have. We have 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And I know those kind of look like S's, but I'm a little cramped here, so, don't judge. So now we have 5 times 5. Well, of course, we're saying 25 times 5 times 5, 25 times, and of course we have that leftover 5. Now, if you've been catching on, we've done a ton of examples with this. 25 times 25, I would ask you to commit this to memory. That is always going to be 625 times 5. And so this is the part where, yes, I would encourage you to use your calculator. Hey, that's A-okay. So what is 625 times 5? Well, grab my calculator, 625 times 5 would be 3,125. Pause this video if you need to finish writing down examples, and I'll see you guys in our very next video. Or our very next example. Okay, and here we are in example 2. So we have 2x to the 3/4 plus 15 equals 143. And how in the world are we going to get x by itself with these very large numbers? Well, same way you'd eat an elephant, one bite at a time. So let's go ahead and get started. The question we first ask ourselves is, what do we want to get rid of first? And so think through your rules. Do we want to get rid of the multiplication, the exponent, or the addition first? And of course, in this case, we want to get rid of the addition first. So what is the opposite of plus 15? Well, that would be minus 15. And what we do to the left of the equation, we have to do, of course, to the right. So we've created a zero pair. Those are gone. We now have 2x to the 3/4 is equal to, and what is 143 minus 15? Well, let's see, I can't do 3 minus 5, so let me just go ahead and steal a 1 there. That drops down to 3. We know 13 minus 5 will, of course, give us an 8. 3 minus 1 is 2, 128. Oh, of course, so we have 128. Now, let's scribble that out so you don't get too confused there. We have 2x to the 3/4 equals 128. And what do we get rid of next? Well, of course, we will divide both sides by 2. As that goes away, we now have x to the 3/4 is equal to, what is 128 divided by 2? Well, use your calculator, and of course that will give you 64. Now we're basically back to a level 1 video. How do we get rid of the rational exponent of 3/4? Of course, we want to raise it up to its reciprocal, which in this case will be 4/3. And those go away. Well, this now gives us x equals, and remember, we want to look at the denominator first, or the root, and we want to make this thing smaller. So we can write, hey, this will be the cube root of 64, and that will still, of course, be raised to the 4th power. Well, you should know this one almost by heart. What is the cube root of 64? And that will, of course, give us 4. And we have 4 to the 4th power. Well, what does 4 to the 4th power really mean? It means 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. It is there 4 times. And look, we actually know quite a bit of this. We know that 4 times 4 would be 16 times. We know 4 times 4 would also be 16. And I would truly encourage you to memorize this square because you see it pretty often. What is 16 times 16, or 16 squared? That is 256. Okay? I hope that these 2 examples have helped you out, and I'll see you guys in our level 4 video.